One of the Googler questions that we got was about which song of yours is the most fun for you to perform?
I really like Better Than Revenge. It's a song off of the album Speak Now, and it's about a girl who stole my boyfriend. And I got mad. And I wrote a song about it. And we do this, like, it's just furious and angry and fun, and like we have this gigantic bridge that drops down from the ceiling, and me and my two backup singers are on the bridge just like throwing our hair around and headbanging. And so that's a really fun one to do. And for me, they're all really, I think Dear John has a fun payoff.
Yeah.
If you go see the show, I really love singing that because in the end it's got this, pyro-filled payoff in the end.
Would you say those are two of the songs that get the crowd going the most, or are there other ones?
I'd say, you got to come to a show because the crowds are really kind of steadily, ear-piercingly loud throughout the whole show. They're amazing. Like, it's really hard to gauge, like, which is the moment that they're the loudest because they're just really, really loud all the time.
Here's a funny question. This is from Allie Law in Dunlap, Tennessee. You seem like the kind of person that would name their guitars. Do you name your guitars, and what are their names?
I do seem like that kind of person, but I haven't done it yet. I kind of think back on the situations when I got them, like when I fell in love with that particular guitar. Like, there's one of my guitars, it's an acoustic, and it's blue, and it's got koi fish swimming up the neck. And like inlays. It's just beautiful. And it was, Bob Taylor sent it to me for my 18th birthday.
Oh, wow.
So I remember the first time I like opened up this guitar case and I'm just like, oh, there's fish on the guitar. It's like this gorgeous guitar. And so that's what I remember about that. And then there's this sparkly guitar that I play that has hundreds of tiny little crystals on it. And it looks like we had it specially made, but really we just glued them on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And sometimes little ones fall off, and so we'll have to super glue more on with tweezers. So that's always what cracks me up about that, because it's like, everyone's like, where did you have your guitar specially made? I'm like, super glue. Like.
How many guitars do you use in a show? How many of those do you go through?
Okay, well, that was a weird sound I just made. That was weird, sorry. The first one is electric. The second one is acoustic koa. Then there's the 12-string. Then there's the blue koi fish one. And then there's, I think 4 or 5.
Yeah, wow.
And then there's a ukulele and a banjo.
Of course,
and
banjo.
A piano.
Yeah. Obviously, you're on tour a lot, and that's where you spend a lot of your time, but there were a lot of questions about what you do when you're not performing and you're in between gigs besides writing songs like you do. And so, I guess first question, are there any movies that you like to watch while you're on tour?
I watch a lot of TV, like a lot of TV. And my favorites are like the crime shows where it starts out and, you can't miss the first scene or else you miss like the discovery of this crime scene. And then, the like twists and turns of it all. I love CSI, Law and Order SVU, Without a Trace, NCIS, Lock Up Raw. Like,
wow.
I just am really afraid of getting in trouble. You have no idea.
All right, so that's who watches Lock Up. It's Taylor Swift, actually.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, no. But also, one of the questions that we got was about what books that you read in your free time.
Oh, mostly history. I'm obsessed with other time periods, and like I'm always looking up museums or like the Historical Society or like historical landmarks that we can go to in a particular city where we are. And recently I've been reading a lot of books on like John Adams and Abraham Lincoln, and I read this like 750-page book called The Kennedy Women, and it dates back to like the lineage of the first Kennedy woman who came across from Ireland on the boat in like the 1860s. And it's just this crazy, interesting read. So that's what I've been reading lately. I'm sort of obsessed with history.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about books for a second. One of the questions that we got actually from one of the future Googlers in the audience was that about how you wrote a novel when you were 11 years old.
I was 14. No, wait.
You were younger?
I was like 13, I think.
13?
Yeah, but I did. I have a lot of different epiphanies. I always have different ideas as to like, ooh, you know, this would be a good idea. And one summer I was at the shore. We used to spend our summers in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, and all my friends were back in Pennsylvania, and so I had nothing to do. And so I had this epiphany, I'm gonna be a novelist, and I'm gonna write novels, and that's gonna be my career path. So I would write different chapters of this book and send them back to my friends, and I'd write them into the book under different names, but totally describe their personalities, and it was a really fun way to spend the summer, and my parents were so frustrated because I would never go outside. I'd just be like locked in this little study with my computer, but I've always been a writer first. It's my favorite thing is how you can convey a thought or a story or completely describe a character or a situation through words, and the right combination of words, and the whole process of editing and re-editing and rethinking and imagining, and you get these little mini just epiphany ideas that come to you. And I think that that's what I loved about writing the novel, and it's what I love about poetry, and it's what I love about songwriting.
Yeah. While we're on this topic of things you do while you're on tour and stuff, we had a lot of questions about what it is that you like to do when you're on tour and you're not performing. Is there any other things that you like to spend your time doing?
What I love to do? You know, I watch a lot of TV.
Right. Crime shows.
Yeah, crime shows. That's pretty much the hobby list.
So we have another question from a Googler here. It says, as a father of a teenage daughter, it's great to see that solid songwriting and hard work can get recognized. Do you have any advice for young aspiring musicians?
Absolutely. I think that you have to love it more than anything else, and you have to love it for so many more reasons other than your idea of what the end result could be. Like, you don't make an album so that you can get a platinum record to hang on your wall. Right. And you don't go on tour so that you can hang the sold out plaques up in, you know, your bedroom. It's like, it's so many little stepping stones, and so many people have this idea that it's like you get discovered, and then you get the record deal, and then you record the song, and then the song goes #1, and then, you know, and it's like, it's never like that. Like, very rarely is it like one thing leads to another, which leads to another end result. It's so many dead ends and switching directions and going back and replanning and rethinking, and so many interviews and strategy meetings and management meetings and PR meetings, and so many things that are so outside of music that you have to love music so much that just your hour and a half to 2 hours on stage every night is worth everything else that you're gonna go through. And also, I would say, play your own instrument because it's easier than dragging around like a karaoke machine. You know, like when you're starting out, you have to provide your own background music, and it's just so much easier to play your own instrument. Okay, cool. All right, so we have one last question. This is a video question, another video question, and it comes from Chicago, Illinois. It's a little bit different than some of the questions we've been talking about. So let's roll that.
Hey Taylor, it's Nick. I have a question for you. What does being beautiful mean to you? I mean, define your definition of beauty. What beauty means in your eyes, and why?
Oh, I love him. I think for me, beauty is sincerity. I think that there are so many different ways that someone can be beautiful. You know, someone's so funny that it makes them beautiful no matter how they look, because they're sincere in it. or somebody's like really emotional and like moody and thoughtful and stoic, but that makes them beautiful because that's sincerely who they are. Or you look out into the crowd and you see someone so happy that they're smiling from ear to ear and that sincerity comes through. I think that's what makes somebody beautiful. And I've never felt like there's just one way to be beautiful, you know, tall or short, straight hair or curly or whatever. Some people have their definitions of their types. You know, for me, I think that when I meet someone and there's that magical thing about them that makes them unforgettable, it's that they're sincere and honest in whoever they are. Be that funny, happy, sad, you know, going through a rough time, sarcastic. I think that these personality traits that come through when somebody is really sincere is what makes them beautiful.
Cool. I think that's a great note to end this on. Since this is a YouTube interview, there's this sort of a tradition that we have that, where are they? Oh, there they are. So it's honorary for me to give you a pair of the YouTube tube socks.